Hello again, I am Blunty, and hooray, my voice is back, which means I can get back to making videos for you guys, and hooray, Apple have announced a new iPhone at last, which means I can talk about it, because if I don't talk about it, you guys are going to ask why I'm not talking about it, so I might as well get it out of the way with, don't you think? So the rumour mill's got it way wrong this time around, and they got way more wrong than they got right, and the difference between right and wrong this time around is heavily in favour of wrong. Which just goes to show you should never ever listen to those lying scumbag bullshit rumour mill spreading sites that have the integrity of your average half-baked potato, because they will do anything and print any garbage just to get you to come to their site, which means you see their ads, which means they get ad revenue. They don't care whether it's true or not. They don't care about fact-checking. They don't care whether the reliable source is some dude who knows some dude in a back fence who knows how to spell Apple. They'll print anything to get you to go there. You shouldn't believe in it, because the more of that bullshit you believe, the more they're encouraged to make up more bullshit and print more bullshit. And it just raises your expectations, confuses the marketplace. So by the time Apple do make an announcement, everyone's expectations are here, and a realistic expectation should be here, and the product they announce goes here, and the difference between there and there causes what's happening at the moment. People are bitching and complaining because, oh, it's an incremental upgrade. I was expecting the iPhone 5 and it should have been all new, all shiny. It should have had a 4-foot screen, and it should... Oh, God. Now, I'm no Apple fanboy. Yes, I do like Apple products, and I own a lot of Apple products, and I use a lot of Apple products, but I use a lot of Android products. So the thing I'm trying to get at here is incremental upgrade is a good thing, because the iPhone 4, even after 18 months of life, still doesn't feel slow, still doesn't feel outdated, still doesn't feel that far surpassed by even the very best of the competition, the best of the Android handsets out there. It's still a pretty close match as far as I'm concerned. So an incremental upgrade may be enough to get people like me, who aren't, you know, the Kool-Aid drinking Apple fanboys, to upgrade anyway, because it's just enticement enough, and that's all Apple really needs to do. They just want to suck more money out of my pocket by doing just enough to get me to buy it all over again, which is fine. I've got the i5 processor in there, which is the same as the iPad 2, which is very, very quick, very, very nippy, very, very powerful, and that's fantastic to have that dual-core chip sitting in a phone. Plenty of Android devices have a dual-core chip in them. Are they A5? No, they're slightly different, but who cares? Point is, it's faster. But that said, again, the iPhone 4 doesn't feel slow. So being a little bit more faster, again, isn't a big enough carrot at the end of the stick to make me go, yep, I need that. The camera might be. It's a very high maybe probability of the camera being enticing enough to get me an upgrade, because it's an 8 megapixel sensor, which is cool, brings it on par with the best of its competition. Back illuminated, high-end chip that's all cutting edge and stuff like that, lets in a lot more light, and it's a bigger aperture, which means a lot more light. It's got a new lens system in there, 5-element lens system, which is all cutting edge as well, and Apple designed, and it's supposed to be 30% sharpness, and it's much quicker. You can go from launching the camera app to taking your first photo in just over a second, and half a second before you can take another shot again. And that's the important bit, that shutter lag, that time between going, I need to take a photo of that, being able to take a photo of that, and go click, 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 click. That is where a lot of Android handsets fall down. The shutter lag is slow, the camera app launch is so slow, and everything's sluggish and slow, and you miss those decisive moments that you're trying to catch if you're passionate about photography like I am, and it becomes incredibly frustrating. Even if the camera is brilliant, if it's too slow to catch that moment you're after, it's next to useless. So I'm excited about the camera being much faster and much better quality, and having 1080p video with built-in image stabilization. Now that's the exciting part, because a lot of footage you take with your phones, because they're so light and they're so small, the physics is working against you. It's very hard to hold them absolutely steady and get good-looking footage. With a 1080p built-in image stabilization and noise control and all that sort of built-in, very, very high and fancy stuff, it becomes a very interesting proposition as far as people like me go, who are very passionate about photography and do a hell of a lot of video. The cellular radios have also been given a kick up the bum, so everything uploads and downloads up to twice as fast now as well, and it puts it on par with what some other companies call 4G, but is not actually 4G as well. They're just, well, let's not get into that minefield of bull crap. Let's just say it's faster at uploading and downloading, which is also important for guys like me who do a lot of uploading and downloading on their mobile devices, sending pictures and images and back and forth and downloading, just doing lots of stuff, basically. Now again, after 18 months of being on the world stage, I was hoping for a redesign of the look, not because I think this is ugly or impractical or anything like that. I still quite like the design, but After so long, I was expecting a bit of a redesign, and the new one looks exactly the same externally, which has let a few people down. I wanted a bigger screen, a 4-inch screen like a lot of the Androids have these days. That big screen real estate is fantastic, but they've kept the same 3.5-inch screen, whatever. But there is a hidden bonus here. It means you don't have to buy a whole slew of new accessories. All your cases will still fit, your battery backup devices will still fit, and everything that clips onto your phone will still, the Owly Bubo will still fit on it and everything if you're using it for filmmaking, which is a really, as I said before, with the new upgraded camera, makes it even better for that kind of stuff. And it's a good thing that they kept the design. Sure, it's, it would be more exciting if it was a new design and it was even slimmer and smaller and a huge screen and so bright it burnt your retinas out backwards. But the fact is, like I said before, this is still above the good enough level. So it all comes down to whether all the extra bells and whistles they've strapped into it, they've jammed up as jacksy, is it enough for me to upgrade from this still perfectly satisfactory handset to another handset? But then we get to the killer feature that Apple are touting for the iPhone 4S. You've got to leave out the G. And that is the Siri voice command thing. And if you haven't seen the presentation from Apple, think Star Trek. You can basically ask it for whatever you want to do. You can ask it to make an appointment for you somewhere. You can ask it to book something in your calendar. You can ask it to find out information from Wikipedia or Wolfram Alpha or the web. Or basically, you can just, in natural speech, ask it for what you want to do. You just speak it, and it does it. It's context aware, and it's very sensitive to where the words are in the sentence. It's a very, very smart piece of voice-operated technology, and it brings us even closer to that Star Trek, computer, where is Lieutenant Commander Worf? And the computer responds back in natural language again, and somehow knows exactly what you're after. We're yet to see how well that works in the real world, with real people speaking and slurring and mumbling and all that sort of stuff. And apparently it's working for the Australian accent. They pointed Australia out specifically, UK, Australia, America, the English accents all work fine. But I've got a few Scottish mates here in Australia, and they're a bit worried about what it's going to make of them, so time will tell on that. Apple is still calling it a beta, just so they don't get people's hopes up too high, and if stuff does go catastrophically wrong with it, they can go, oh, it's just a beta. Like what Google does with all of its products, basically. It's just a beta, it's just a beta, don't worry. So that brings us to the question of the video. Is the iPhone 4S enticing enough for you to upgrade from what you've got now, whether it be an iPhone 3GS or a 4 or an Android device? And there goes my light, my backlight's gone, so I'm disappearing into the background now. I really need to get a power source so that thing. It runs off batteries, and it runs out in the middle of batteries. It runs out in the middle of videos every now and again. It's really frustrating because now this part of the video looks different from the whole rest of the video. At least it did at the end. So, are you going to upgrade? Is it enticing enough for you to upgrade? And please, for the love of God, do not start the Apple fanboy, Android fanboy, Apple hater, Android hater, bitchy flame war bullcrap in the comment section, because I'm just probably going to delete it because I'm so sick of hearing that stuff. So sick of seeing that stuff everywhere online whenever any of these products are mentioned, because they all say the same crap that has been said for years now. There is no new ideas in the arguments at all. It's just constantly regurgitated back and forth. It's like the world's worst tennis match, just bull crap going back and forth, and frankly I'm sick of reading it. So please try and stay away from that. Just approach it with a level head, approach it with logical, pretend you are Spock and everything is logical, and it just don't degenerate into that fanboy hater warfare bullcrap, please, because if I get pissed off enough with you doing it, I'm just going to block you, because that's my new hobby. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blondie. I will catch you next time. Are you getting the iPhone 4S? I think I will. Maybe. I want to see some camera tests.